In addition to its agreements with the biggest banks in the US, what does Ripple have to do with the Chinese government? Visa, Google, MasterCard, American Express, and Bank of America are 5 of the biggest companies that work with Ripple. This may come as a surprise to you. The numbers are here. Let me go over them with you. You could learn something really cool. And if you're not, this is a great way to get caught up. Anders X pulled this out and says that Ripple is working with banks and other controlled financial institutions. In this area, the CC lawsuit slowed things down a lot, but it will be resolved soon, most likely 2025. Because Ripple turned into a blackboard in the US, you can have completely unique scenarios. In the highest level of this, US judges have already said that XRP is not protected until the US crypto law is in place. XRP will stand on its own, and being used in criminal cases is not a safety in the US, both in the economy and with FinCEN. They made a deal with FinCEN. In other words, they are saying that XRP is real money. Then listen to what The deal between Ripple and the Treasury says that XRP is a foreign currency, not a defense CC anymore. But Chief Gensler said he could talk to the US Treasury Office first before making crypto rules for the SEC, which I bet he didn't do. When you go back in time, you can see that Ripple was on the US faster bill service. This was moved up to about a 1/8 in 2017. The Federal Reserve talks about the Ripple system for moving its dollar bills across borders in real time. Ripple was taken out of. You should know that they were one of the groups working on this project, along with some of the biggest banks and organizations in the US. I also saw that Ripple is one of the easiest crypto companies to work with on the list that became worried. On top of that, you have Jack McDonald saying, "What an amazing experience, thanks." Bowman, the head of the Federal Reserve, Ripple is meeting with Trump in the Federal Reserve. XRP is just too big to fail. Listen, Ripple has a lot of links with people who work for the government and who work for the government. The government comes to work for Ripple. It's clear that those people know some things we don't. And I believe you shouldn't take this lightly if you have all of those links to the world's biggest financial market. Yes votes are all that are needed to make XRP the best cryptocurrency in the world. This guy clearly does great work with his studies. On the other hand, he's showing that Ripple hired some kind of expert. And in the package, when you click to apply for the job, it talks about how Ripple works with the US government. Let me play this. In all honesty, it's pretty exciting. We can't talk about XRP. The answer was given to me. Here's a page for Ripple. They have a software worker who is senior. We're going to use for this task. I'm about to tell you something. As you go through this process, keep an eye on what goes on. Here is Far, who works as a senior software worker at Ripple San Francisco. Okay, Crypto Hulk has been telling you this for about 4 years now. Ripples no longer have power. It's a country. Look at this now. Why do you want us to fill out this form? They're talking about self-identification that people choose to do. We work for the government as an agent or subcontractor. The law says that we have to give everyone the same options. Ripple is a public contractor, which means it works for the government. The Crypto Hulk told an interesting big story. Yes, you've been hearing about what a federal contractor is and who the people or businesses are that settle with the federal government. Oh, how exciting. Yes, any department or boss, maybe even national security, is not going to say group. In addition, their job is to do a certain job, provide hard work or materials or sell goods or services. Oh, you mean like the XRP system that was used for real studies, right? That was pretty good study. Then we'll take a look at some of Ripple's biggest deals. By bulk, Bank of America is one of the biggest banks in the world. How many accounts they handle and how much cash they have on hand. Before they start using the XRP system, Bank of America has said that they may be waiting for clarity to happen in the United States. But they might all be hooked on it to use it. It is currently estimated that 69 million people use and have accounts with Bank of America, and their total customer amounts are worth about $4.2 trillion. Now, let me teach you about this, right? As we look, it looks like they have $4.2 quadrillion in wealth control businesses. They also own $2 and $5 trillion worth of other things. Things that people own are worth 2.4 trillion rubles. Okay, there are different kinds of cash here. Thus, this fee, whether it's money in the bank or assets on the balance sheets of financial institutions, those amounts get turned into tokens and sent straight to DLT. So you can get that fee right away. What does that price turn into? The most likely person it will be with is one of your business partners. Okay, you are working with a technology that offers great quality and style for virtual assets. Ripple and Bank of America both use the XRP system to make their tools and infrastructure stronger. Once they start tokenizing this cost, they could contact Ripple and say, hi, we want to start tokenizing 1 or 0 greenbacks worth of those things. How are we going to do it? You already know the best way to do things, so let me play this to show you how committed Bank of America is to Ripple. I'm going to show you my day's notes. It's pretty loud in here. That's why I'm sorry. First, I met Brad Garlinghouse in person, and he seemed so sure of himself. That's not possible. I met Brad for the first time in Singapore in 1999. He is even shorter now than he was then. He was clear that they might be able to settle with the SEC if they could get XRP to be read. I asked him if there were any American groups ready to join the game as soon as things became clear. Indeed, he did say that, and he specifically said Bank of America. Ripple has a lot of help from Bank of America. And he said that Bank of America stands to gain a lot when the deal goes through because they will have a huge competitive advantage over their rivals in the market thanks to Odell. When asked what drives Brad every day, he simply said, I need to make a dent in the universe. We heard that from someone who is talented, and Brad agrees with them. That turned out to be great. That turned into a one-on-one with Brad. So Bank of America pretty much has that clear picture now that the case is pretty much over, right? Bank of America will take over when the SEC steps down, giving them a huge edge over their rivals. What does that make the other companies do? Well, one of those things will happen. Now, let's say you are one of the biggest banks in the world and your services are better than those of the other biggest bank in the world. You will start to gain market share. People are going to start going to your bank because you have the best and most reliable generation, right? You can exchange their rate right away with the click of a button for a lot less than what they were charging. There are a lot of things that could be released for anyone's business. Okay, then Bank of America comes in and talks about tokenizing value. This will really give them an edge in terms of benefits, and it will put pressure on all these other banks to catch up or work with someone else who has just as good technology. Okay, but the market will feel fear of missing out FOMO. So that's what I'm really excited about. You also have PNC Bank, which was one of the first US banks to go live with the Ripple Payments Network. Okay. It's back in 2019. Okay, this is another very large bank that needs permission to do this. It's now cool for the US banking giant PNC to use Ripple's old technology. Okay, also, if you want to know how big PNC Bank is, it's not nearly as big as Bank of America. Okay, PNC, on the other hand, is due $9 million and has about $565 billion in debt as of September 30th, 2024. There, I said it. It's not a small bank. Ripple's technology is also used by Santander when they start a foreign exchange service based on the blockchain.